Hello, I am Sarah Alexander, the Vagabond Shrink. Usually I look a little more perky, but I'm going on about 4 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours. So we're going from Miami to Dubai, and we are flying Aeroflot, which is kind of known as the Spirit airline of Europe, which should have been my first clue, but it was so cheap, like $1,000 cheaper than anything else. So of course I like a deal, so we booked it. We got stuck. Our first flight was late, and so that meant we missed our connection. So we were stuck in the Moscow airport for about 16 hours. Now, the airline of course paid for the hotel, but here's what we did not know, and I want all of you to know, is that this is not like a good deal. You can't leave the airport. You need a visa, and the visa is like 170 US. So it's kind of expensive for 16 hours, and there's really not a lot that you can do in the night anyway. But there are actually hotels in the airport. You don't need to check out, you don't need to do anything, you just go for a triple room. My mother-in-law is with us, so it would have been 3 beds in a room with its own bathroom for 8 hours, would have been 136 US. So I would have paid that in a second. It could have been 300 US, and I would have been, yes, do it. But here's what I didn't know. I thought, okay, the hotel or the airline is going to provide us a hotel. Our flight got in at 7:30 p.m. and we were given a voucher for food and said to come back at 11 p.m. for our hotel. So we came at 11 p.m. and this is where the hurry up and wait started. At 11 p.m. there was already a line of a lot of people who were actually missing their connection. So finally we figured out, okay, this person is taking care of our hotel. It took us until about 12:30 p.m. to actually get the voucher for the hotel. So we finally get the voucher, we get on the bus. It takes us another hour to get to the hotel, which is across the street. I don't know what was going on. They had to bring you, you're basically sequestered, and you have to be guarded by security the whole time. So they take you to the hotel with security, and you have to come off the bus 8 people at a time, because you have to be secured each way going in and out. I don't know why anybody would want to stay in this godforsaken country, honestly, but nothing against Russia. My experiences are a little colored by the last 48 hours with 4 hours of sleep. So, and 2 of that was on a plane, so that doesn't really count. So once you actually get into the hotel, you're given a hotel room. It was 2 o'clock, 2 a.m. by the time we actually got into the hotel. And then, you go to sleep. The thing is, our next flight is at 11:30 a.m. But it doesn't matter what time your next flight is. At 6 a.m. we had to be ready to go. They wake you up at 5 a.m. So by the time I wanted to get up and take a shower, I slept from 2:30 to 4:30. And then you get up and they give you breakfast, which was a couple of pieces of hard bread. I really felt like this felt like Russia to me. A couple pieces of hard bread, some vague resemblance of yogurt that was more like a smoothie. Nothing to write home about by any means. So they give you the breakfast, and then you get back on the van. It takes forever to get back here, and then they set you loose. And our flight boards at 10:50 for an 11:30 a.m. flight, and we've been here since about 7:30. So by the way, too, they say to be ready to go at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m. the next day, and we still stood in the hotel, in our little sequestered area. You're not in the hotel lobby. We still stood in the hotel for an hour, and they kept saying, Dubai flight, we go, and then we stood. Dubai flight, we go, and then we stood. So, in summary, if you are stuck in the Moscow airport and they tell you that they're going to provide you a hotel, do not trust this. Pay the money to go to the hotel that is in the airport, and you can go, you rent by the hour, you have a bathroom, it's not that expensive, well worth the money. I hope this helps.